They call them periods
That
sometimes.
fresh
just
produce
FYI.
stand there. That's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart and Torrance podcast.
The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we are once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast covering everything in the universe and adjacent. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other Letterkenny podcasts out there, but this one just watched Portugal beat Croatia in the round of 16. Yay! Força Portugal. I'm Ali, your host, and joining me in the room as always is the lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt and the very annoying Victor. He's already getting on my nerves tonight. Guys, welcome back to the podcast.
Was it the world of 16 or a round of 32?
We're still in 32.
Oh, whatever.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Well, elimination round. Well, they're in 16 now. They won, so they're going on.
You made it sound like they won.
In every
16.
other World Cup, this would not have been an elimination round, just FYI.
Yeah, whatever. Here we go.
How are you now?
Tonight's lineup going to be Al, Matt, Tanya, Victor. This almost didn't happen tonight. Anyway, all right. So as you could probably tell, if you're watching the video, I'm wearing my Portugal jersey, which I just threw on before we started recording because it was kind of touch and go there for a bit, whether I'd be wearing it or not. What a game.
So you're like a bandwagon guy. You're like, are they winning? They're not winning.
No. Actually, I didn't know that I had this shirt. It's not, I don't know whose shirt it is. I don't think it's mine.
That's Owen.
Oh, it's Owen's shirt. So I'm wearing Owen's shirt. It's a little tight on.
Oh, look at you looking all slim out.
But I had to, I had to throw it on. I saw it here and I'm like, oh, I'm going to wear that. Anyway, Portugal moved on, beat Croatia tonight, which is great. And Saturday, Canada plays Morocco. So that's going to be a very stressful game to watch as well. But anyway, enjoying the World Cup this week basically is all I'm doing. And just happy to see a positive result. Matt, how have you been?
Exhausted. It's been a hell of a fucking week. Actually, haven't worked since Monday. I've taken a few days to just recoup. We've been so much fucking going on. This Airbnb thing has been building up. It's about ready to go. We're about ready to kick it off.
Just in time for all the tourists to leave.
Exactly, to leave, right? They're all gonna fuck off, or maybe some will stick around.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually quite, I'm quite happy with how it's all turned out. We had our renter finally, not the right word. Our renter and good friend of ours move out officially on Tuesday, I think it was, which was sad because it was an end of an era. That's one of Jen's best friends.
Sure.
She's lived with him in some capacity for, I think, 25 years. Like they've been in each other's world for so long. So it was a somber note, but it immediately had to jump into overdrive and start getting the space ready because that is definitely a revenue that we need to supplement. So, but I think it's been kind of fun, and as we kind of getting it more and more and looking at the place now, we're like, this looks like a place if I rented. I know I'm a little biased, but I feel like I'd arrive and go, this looks nice. So that's exciting. And in all that, with summer here, the kids are done, the pool's up and running now, so that's fun. I've also maximized our backyard adventures. So this week, because we've been watching, so I like sports now. I don't know if I talked about this. I do sports now.
Okay,
I know.
good.
I know pretty much everything that's going on.
Welcome
I
to
think
the
about
club.
the Leafs. I know most.
Oh, did you hear about? Hopefully,
Bobrovsky.
Yeah, hopefully Victor will talk about the big signings. Yes.
Yeah. So I can't wait to hear Jay Omre yell Bobrovsky every time when that happens. So that's going to be exciting. And the Raptors got Kawhi Leonard coming back.
Unbelievable. Toronto's
Fucking
just a buzz
wild,
right
man.
now. Yeah.
If
Except
the Jays
we're
are just
signing
pulling-
all old people.
I know.
Next thing we're going to hear TS.
Hey, whoa! We covered.
Kawhi had one of his best years last year, so it's all right.
Next thing we're going to sign like Ronaldo to TFC.
Listen, we
At
covered
42.
a show where one of the episodes is literally called Veteran Presence.
Right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is what we're all about here in Toronto right now. If the Jays would just figure their shit out, it'd be great. But yeah, apparently I like sports now. So we watch Jays games constantly in the backyard. So now I've officially mounted the TV on the backyard wall with a weather cover. So I never have to carry it again. So come on over, guys, and watch a game with me because I'm there most days watching baseball, as it turns out, of all sports. But yeah.
But more importantly,
baseballs
what was your neighborhood like today?
Well, he's saying it's quiet.
It's
it
quite,
is?
but yeah. So I live in a heavily saturated Portuguese neighborhood. It's quiet. But Al made a good point. He thinks that every Portuguese person in the province is downtown right now.
They're all
which
on
is
College
probably-
Street. Yeah,
it's
except for
probably
me.
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. The game. When did they play the last game? It was
It's last
90 something. Oh,
last Saturday.
2000.
No, last Saturday.
No, what? Last Saturday, you
Yeah.
idiot.
Oh, I thought you meant like before the
No,
World Cup.
no. But my neighbor.
No, because they played an exhibition
It,
game.
it was
here,
last Saturday. The reason I know is because
2009.
Tanya went to the Portuguese Cultural Center Saturday, and they were watching the game down there, and she got an eyeful of like what it's like to be.
There was a moment where the other team had scored a goal.
Goal to gore.
A gore. They got a gore,
stroke?
you know. And it ended up not counting. But the woman, her face, her hands went to her face, and her face went this like it was like somebody died.
She looked
somebody
like the
told
screen.
her.
What's that art piece? The screen.
Yeah.
It's like somebody told her somebody died,
Yeah.
and in an instant, her face was just devastated. I
Well,
was
if she
like,
was watching
"Oh, we
today's
should
game,
not be
then that
here."
was-
Oh,
Well, I thought
can't
I was
imagine.
getting my neighbor 2 doors over is like right out of like he's from Portugal. His family only moved here a couple years ago. They had at that game they had about 50 people in their yard, and I knew they were all there because at the beginning of the game they all in unison sang the national anthem. So I stood in appreciation from my backyard and enjoyed the ambiance. But yeah, so that's my neighborhood.
It's my shame that I don't know the Portuguese national anthem. I have no clue. I don't know one
I'll
word.
introduce
from
you to
it.
Mario. He'll hook you up with his people, and you'll be good.
I'm sure there's one. I know one word, Portugal. That's all I know. But anyway,
Good job.
Tan, how was your week?
It's been busy. Like Saturday was like a go day, and it was like fitting 3 things in, and just like not saying no to anything, and apparently saying yes means that you're going from one place to another place to another place and getting it all.
Oh,
in
you
in
had
one
fun
night.
too. Stop. You sounds like you're complaining.
It was a lot of fun. But yeah, as you mentioned, I ended my evening at the Portuguese Hall, which I haven't been to in a long time.
Since my parents' 50th, probably.
No, I didn't even get to that one because we had pink eye and
Oh.
COVID. Remember,
That's right.
it was a shit show here. But yeah, we my daughter and I we ended up being there without you.
Mm-hmm.
We were missing the Portuguese half of our Portuguese family, and
Shocked the hell out of my parents who were there. It was like,
we did.
you guys are here. Where's Alan? Alan's
Yeah.
playing a show.
And there was
Why are you here?
And there was a Portuguese band. It was like it actually my mother-in-law at one point grabbed my arm and said, this is taking me back to the first time I met you here. And oh, she had such a wonderful memory and yeah, big smile on her face. It was sweet. It was really nice to be and be there and listen to the music. And my daughter got to do a traditional dance with her aunt, and it was really sweet. It was really nice. Other than that, it is hot as balls outside
man.
right now. It's like what with the humidity is like 43 or
Lord
something
love
ridiculous.
a duck. It's fucking hot.
It's hot. Yeah.
It's stupid. We have family going to Jamaica of all places. Why would you go there in the
To
summer?
cool down.
But it's actually cooler in Jamaica right now than it is here
Oh man.
at the moment, which is nuts.
Yeah.
It's we tried to celebrate Canada Day yesterday by going out, and immediately I felt like that I regretted it. I was like, I need air conditioning.
Oh, and there
I'm-
was some crazy weather that happened yesterday too. Like
and then yeah, the storm kind of flew.
a lot of
in.
Canada Day celebrations got canceled because of like microbursts or whatever they're called, like little mini tornadoes.
Pretty crazy. Anyways, yeah, it's just been hot and sticky, and we've got another fun weekend lined up. It's just jam packed from here until the fall. Actually,
summer.
even into the fall.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good.
Victor, how have you been?
Oh man, so much going on. So much going on. So I had my birthday. So
That's right. Happy belated.
birthday!
Thank you.
So you had your
I
kung
had
fu crab. Or
yes,
whatever.
my Hong Kong lobster Hong Kong style.
That's right.
I
I like
shared
kung fu crab better.
Yeah, I know you do. I do. I shared
Rolls
an
off the
image.
tongue a little better.
I shared an image with you guys so you could celebrate
Yes.
vicariously.
It's funny because you didn't say anything. You just posted the picture. I'm like, happy birthday, Victor. Like as soon as I saw it, I'm like that.
The same thing. I'm like, oh, it's Victor's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of douchebags. Then I went to see Supergirl.
Oh, and your review?
Oh,
You know what? I've been dying to hear about your review.
Oh, I'm excited about this one.
So first, let me say, don't go on the internet. The internet and social media is not.
What did you think, Victor?
Yeah. So I'm just saying, just don't don't do that. I thought the movie was great. I thought it was fun and it was entertaining. I felt entertained and I had a good time. It was pretty much constant action. It was really about understanding who Kara was versus trying to introduce some, nemesis or whatever. It's just kind of learning about her, where she came from, what's kind of, why is she the way that she is,
Sure.
and really positions her very differently from her cousin. Right, because every live action Supergirl you've ever seen would have been just a girl version of Clark Kent,
Right.
And this was very different. Like she has a very different story than him, a very different upbringing. And she lived in this isolated city, Argo City, that's kind of survived when Krypton blew up. And so she grew up in this city that's slowly dying, and everybody around her is dying. And then she ends up being the only survivor, and then she gets shipped out to Earth as a grown up, not like a baby. So she has a completely different view of the world. Or the universe in this case. And so she's very different. And so you see that character arc in the story where she's like, just trying to figure herself out, runs into this kind of kid that also went through a traumatic situation, who's a fantastic actor, by the way. So she played this girl, 13-year-old girl, Ruthie, and she was fantastic. And then, together they kind of team up. And I'm not going to put any spoilers out there because I think you should go and watch it and enjoy it. But all I'm going to tell you is that it's a fun movie. Is it the best, movie superhero? No, absolutely not. Like there's a lot of rough things about it, but
it's fun.
It didn't get the same budget as Superman, let's say. Things that I would change. I would give it a slightly brighter color. It's a little dark. It's and it's supposed to be dark, but I would still find a way to kind of brighten up a bit. And and
that's strange because James Gunn is usually the more bright.
It's not his. He wasn't a director, right?
Oh, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
I thought he was.
He wrote it then.
He did not write it.
Oh
no. It was written by a female author who doesn't have a lot on her resume, but so she did pretty good. She actually did the script for the older Supergirl, Sasha Calle, who was in the Snyderverse. In the you would have seen her in the Flash movie.
And Anna Noguera.
Yeah, Anna Noguera. Yeah, that's who the writer of this one is, and the director was not James Gunn. So together they did a good job. They made a good movie. It's totally bombing in the theaters. Like it's not.
It's too bad.
Yeah, it's too bad, but it's not a big deal. Like people try. Oh, that's the end of the Gunn universe. No, it's not. It's like he's literally filming Superman 2 right now. He's got Clayface coming out he's got
that
the
looks
Lantern
fucked
series. Yeah, that looks crazy. The Lantern series is going to be incredible. It's basically True Detective except with superheroes. So he's people need to just settle down. And season 2 of Creature Commandos is coming out. And if for anybody that hasn't seen season 1, it's only 6 episodes. You're already used to it because we have 6 episodes in our universe. And it's fantastic. It's fun, and the music is incredible, and it's just fun. It's it's an animated 6 episodes of an animated adult show, and I think you will really enjoy it if you give it a chance. Anyway, so Supergirl,
does Millie Alcock just play? Like, I love her, and I think that she looks like she delivers this role great.
Oh my God, she's so good. And that's the other thing. Like the internet is tearing her apart because she said some things that are true, and people don't like to hear the truth.
In her interviews where she kind of
yeah. Well, the thing is, she's young, right? So she's like, the things she's saying, they're not stupid things, but it's stupid to say them. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like why are you trying to create controversy about a
yeah.
movie that's about
But
to
that
come
shouldn't.
out?
That should. I mean, it's sad we're in a world where like simple things like that to completely taint people's view on the movie as well. It's like
Yeah,
no,
but
she's
I don't
fantastic.
think as stupid as it is, like I don't think that's the reason the movie is bombing. The
Yeah.
movie is not bombing because of things that Millie Alcock said. You know what I mean?
Sadly, I will say, and I'm really excited to see this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big DC fan, but I actually really liked the Superman movie that James Gunn did. I was excited for this.
Yeah.
With a female lead, they often struggle, and it's so unfortunate because there's been
Yeah.
some really fantastic ones, but
Be,
there has also been a bad track record of things like Captain Marvel, which I'm
yeah.
right. I loved her,
Listen,
but it was not a fantastic movie.
I'm
And
gonna say it. It's controversial. I'm gonna say it anyway, right? These movies are made for. They're sorry. The movies that the people that go see superhero movies are men. They're not
yeah,
women, right? So it's going to be a very small. As much as the Hollywood wants to make movies for girls and for
yeah,
women, it does. Their superhero movies, comic book movies are for. And the problem with that scenario is that 50% of those men are going to be right-minded.
Right.
And if you say anything that's demasculating to them,
Mhm.
yeah,
or if you have a movie that's quote unquote a girl boss movie. By the way,
yeah,
Supergirl is a girl boss,
yeah.
so that's not a woke thing. That's not a a left
No.
thing.
And
It's
I like
just
that it looks like she's edgy and awesome, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited to see it.
and there's nothing. And by the way, and my son hates when I say it this way because he thinks the whole thing is ridiculous. But I don't think that there's anything woke in the movie, unless you think that girl bosses are woke, which is stupid. If that's
Which
what
is
you think,
ridiculous. Yeah.
that means you're stupid. There's nothing in. There's no virtue signaling in this movie. It's just
Yeah.
there's zero. There's no agenda. There's no gender swapping. There's no race swapping. There's none of that. It's just a good
Yeah.
superhero movie, no virtue signaling. But the 50% of men that go to see this movie can't handle it. They
Yep.
can't
I
handle a
believe
girl.
it. I'm with you. Like, and it's really
Right?
unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's and so that's the problem, and whatever, and they don't like James Gunn because he's left leaning and all that kind of stuff. So you have to put all that shit aside and just go. Do I want to go? Do I want to be entertained? Do I want to see a good movie? Do I want to see a fantastic actress?
Mhm.
She was great, but Ruthie again, Ruthie. The girl, I forget her name, but the girl who played Ruthie, she was so good. Like I hope this movie gives her more roles because
Mhm.
she's fantastic. And of course, Lobo. Oh, he's completely unnecessary, but how great that he was in the movie. Like, oh, and I'll say one final thing. I know I've been going on forever about this.
Yeah.
So the other thing that people have an issue with this movie is that they think that it's an adaptation of Women of Tomorrow. And Women of Tomorrow it's a story. It's a Supergirl story that a lot of people love. I think it's okay. I'm not like a big fan of that story, but whatever. But it's not an adaptation. It is based on, it is inspired by. So it's not exactly like the comic. In the comic, there's a super horse, there's no Lobo, the ending is a little bit different. It's so people are basically these super nerds are complaining that, oh well, you changed this and you changed that, you didn't understand the story. Yes, it's not a remake of the story. It's different.
Mhm.
It's inspired by, and enjoy it. Stop being so stupid and just go and enjoy it. So that's it. That's all I say about Supergirl. On to the Leafs.
Oh my
Because
God. Okay.
it took a year. It took a year for our previous GM,
Mhm.
Brad,
Mhm.
stupid Brad, to make one trade. On day one, Chaika made 8 trades or 8 moves, 8 significant moves on July 1st. And it's fantastic. I think there's one move that people are having an issue with, which is Robertson getting him out for fourth round pick. But the reality is it was getting rid of a salary. We need the cap space for Bobrovsky and so on. So it is fine. We got Bluger, we got a bunch of good players. We got probably the best right-handed defenseman we've ever had on this team that nobody knows anything about, Radish. And I think that that's people are going to be shocked and amazed that we have this fantastic player. We got Paul, who sank us in the playoffs when he was on Tampa Bay. There's a lot of fun things to be excited about, and we're not even done. We still need to get Riley out of town. Who knows what we're going to get for him? And Knives might be traded. We're not finished yet. it's going to be a fun season with McKenna joining the team. So that's the Jays and or the Leafs. The Jays, we don't talk about the Jays. And the soccer. Oh my God, it's been so much fun watching all these games.
Football.
And
Whatever.
today's game that just before the podcast, I thought we'd have to delay because we're going to be going into overtime. But Penalto did it again. And you know, he's the lesser Ronaldo. He's the mid Ronaldo. He's not the real Ronaldo. The real Ronaldo is played in Brazil, who won 2 World Cups for his nation. Cristiano, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. Al, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I can't believe they tied the game in, what is it, like 17 minutes into overtime? Or what do they call it?
Extra time, yeah.
Extra time. And they took it back. They took it back.
He was
They said
clearly offside. I said it right away. He's offside.
He was offside, but
Yes.
the ball touched a Portuguese. He touched a Portuguese before,
Hey,
and they
Don't
said,
touch the
"Oh,
Portuguese.
They
it was-
looked
it
at the
was-
replay and they said it was
I
offside.
know it wasn't he was offside, but the
Absolutely.
offside should
By
have
a
been
mile.
nulled and
Like
null
there were
and
2
void.
other
It should have been
goals
null.
called back in that game that were offside
Yeah.
that were like negligible.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one there was not. He was
Of all the goals that were scored, Croatia scored more goals than Portugal today. Let's just say that.
yet they didn't advance.
but
So oh well.
But anyway, I have nothing against Portugal. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Brazil. That's my team, not including Canada. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But so much fun, and I'll stop it.
Do you have any thoughts on Kawhi Leonard resigning? No.
Oh my God, Kawhi Leonard. You know what?
Our listeners
we
are
have
going to turn
nothing
us
lose.
off.
We gave up nothing. We gave up nothing. We gave up a guy named Dick, which is, you know, so that's so we don't get to say that anymore. And Ingram, who did absolutely nothing for us in the playoffs.
That's not
So,
true. Ingram was a
he
good
didn't-
player.
He didn't. Yeah, and he was an all-star during the regular
Yeah.
season and useless in the playoffs. And I'd rather have Kawhi. Like, you know, if we get 2 years of great Kawhi and nothing else, you know, that's fine. I'll take it. Manage him again like we did last time. Him and Barnes. You know, who knows? It's a good team. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I have nothing. I have no issues with that trade. In basketball, the second rounds don't mean anything. The draft picks in the second round, even late round 1 draft picks, they don't mean anything. So I have no issues with the trade. I think
Okay.
it's great.
Let's move on, shall we? Here
That
we-
was all for Matt because Matt is into sports now.
No, I know.
I
right?
love sports.
Yeah.
Sportish now.
Here we go.
But you skipped right over baseball.
On Letterkenny.
No, we don't talk about baseball.
When we last met, we recapped and reviewed the first half of part 2 of Keep Your Head Up, Kid. This week, we're finishing off our coverage of Keep Your Head Up, Kid, the Don Cherry story. Are you guys all ready? Have you done
Yes.
Have you done your homework?
I just did it.
Yes. Victor, have you done your homework?
It did, but I don't remember. It was so long ago.
All right. Well, and Tanya's done her homework. I know because we did it together, and she's hands free right now on her phone. But here we go.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
Let me share my
Yeah, where did
screen.
Tanya go?
She's listening. She's just dealing with something upstairs right now. Share my sound, my screen. Here we go. All right. When we left off last time, Rose and Don had just received the horrible news that Tim was in kidney failure due to a viral infection that he didn't have long to live unless he could find a donor. We pick up with Don and Rose at home in their kitchen dealing with the news in their own individual ways. Don poured himself into his work, although he felt guilty doing it. Rose took on the task of dealing with Tim's condition by scheduling blood work for the family to see if any of them were good matches to be donors. The Bruins training camp was about to start. Don offers to take some time off, but Rose tells him that that's the last thing they want is for Tim's story to get out into the papers, which will happen if Don doesn't start the season like normal. So Don takes the team on an exhibition tour, leaving Rose at home to deal with things. And in a voiceover, Don admits it was cowardly on his part. Next scene, the Cherries are back at the hospital waiting for the results for their blood work. The doctor has some good news.
Dawn, you're a good match. Okay. Rose, you're the least of the match. But Cindy, genetically speaking, you and Tim are virtually biological twins. It's an almost perfect match.
So what do we do next?
Well, Cindy, are you willing to donate a kidney to your brother?
What kind of question is that?
Well, the reality of the situation is that we've had brothers and sisters, even mothers and fathers say no.
Well, this is the Cherry family. So let's get on with it.
All right, fine. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. How much weight am I gonna lose?
What?
I've heard that after an operation, a patient can lose 10 pounds.
Well, at least a pound. That's how much a kidney weighs.
We cut to Tim at home getting the news. He's not too psyched about having a girl's kidney inside him. Rose reminds him of the huge sacrifice his sister is making for him. Tim immediately turns to the future. No more dialysis, and he can play hockey again. Rose slows his roll, one thing at a time. First fix the kidney, get off dialysis, and then maybe think about hockey. Rose also reminds Tim that this is a gift, that he can't do anything to damage that kidney. Tim suggests that maybe he can play goalie. They don't get checked. Next scene, Don is in his office working when he's interrupted by his players who, as they leave for the night, say goodnight to their coach. Don isn't sure why they're acting so strange, but then we cut to the nurses' station at the hospital. The station is adorned with Boston Bruins paraphernalia, so they're fans, but just then the entire team walk up to the staff, to the station, offering to give their blood for Tim Cherry. Next scene, both Tim and Cindy are wheeled away to their surgery as Rose and Don helplessly watch. Then Rose finds Don in the chapel praying. The kids are out of surgery. First we see Cindy, who's in a lot of pain, but only cares about how her brother's doing. Then we cut to Tim, who was just waking up. He already has more color in his cheeks, according to Don. Tim finally wakes up, and all he wants to know is how long Brad Park will be out with his knee injury. Don and Rose take this as a good sign. So back home with the Cherries, there's been no rejection, and they're home in record time. They're at the dinner table. Tim's happy to be eating real food again. They have the radio on, and sports reporter is heard talking about the growing feud between Don and his owner, Harry Sinden. Management thinks Don is too close with his players, but the radio voice maintains that it's Don's greatest strength as a coach. Once a player, always a player. Don's on the last year of his contract, and the prognosticator posits that if he's going to get a new contract, Don is going to have to find a way to win the Stanley Cup. Otherwise, he's gone if he can't find a way to beat the Montreal Canadiens. Rose has heard enough and turns the radio off. The family goes quiet. Don tries to settle them with a little context. They just came home from the hospital. This shouldn't upset them that much. This is what he signed up for. If you win, you're a hero. If you lose, you're gone. Next scene, Don is walking and talking in the hallway with a reporter named Red Fisher.
So, what happened, Cherry? Your team's up by 2 in the third period, and then the Habs come back to tie it up.
Well, I'll tell you what happened, Red. Where was Montreal last night? In Boston, watching our game on television. Where were we last night? In Atlanta. Where were we this morning? In Atlanta. We left on a commercial flight at 6 o'clock this morning.
I'm not sure I'm following.
If Harry Sinden wasn't so damn cheap, he'd have had us on a charter flight last night. We'd had the legs, we would have been well rested, we'd have won tonight. We gotta be taking advantage of every angle possible if we're gonna beat Montreal.
You took charters before, didn't you?
Damn it, yeah, we take charters before, Red, but we didn't last night and it cost us. Harry.
Harry, Grape says that if you weren't so cheap and got a charter last night, you would have won tonight.
Did you say that? That was the final nail. Harry and I didn't talk after that. Yeah, I did, Harry.
Sinden gets up and storms out of the room.
Are you nuts?
Well, you did say it.
Get out of here, Red! Beat it!
All right. Before we go any further, we didn't talk about the last scene or this scene, so I'll start. The scene where they're talking about being matches, and then Cindy saying that she was, agreeing that she's going to donate. Like there's no question she was going to donate. I love the look of pride in Don's face that his daughter didn't even think twice, and of course that's what she's going to do. the fact that people actually, like parents and siblings would say no to that opportunity seems kind of strange, but I guess to each their own. But anyway,
some family members are assholes.
yeah, so anyway, I like that scene. This one here, I just love how, I mean, and we got to take this all with a grain of salt, right? Because this is like storytelling. Like this has been told a million times by Don Cherry, and it's like broken telephone. Like, was there an actual reporter who, as soon as he heard it from Don, turned around and said it to Harry Sinden to get Don in trouble? I mean, that seems like a slimy move, even for a reporter. But I mean, who knows? It could have happened. But anyway, I love those two scenes. Matt, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, the one that resonates with me is the kidney scene. I thought that was fantastic. I mean, that's how family's supposed to be. It's so funny enough, like my kids haven't been watching this with me, but I mentioned I just got this under the wire watching this second half. So my two older boys were in the car with that scene happened, and
Wait, you watched it in the car? Were you driving and watching?
No, I was not driving. I
Okay.
promise I was not driving. I was parked. My son was about to start soccer. That was a whole different ordeal.
Okay.
But I couldn't get the damn link to work. So
Sure.
while we were waiting for his thing to start, we were catching up, and that scene happened. And even my older son's like obviously, I'm like, yeah, like I hope so.
Yeah.
Like that's how it should be. And it's crazy, like you said, that there are families that wouldn't. And I don't know. There are some messed up family situations.
Sure.
I understand that. But I loved even more so that right after where the team all walks in and they're all ready to give blood, and that shows the community that exists in his world, and the love that it carries across, not just home life, but into his career and how close he is with the team. So
and showed how much he was loved
touching
by his players, right? And that rubbed Sinden the wrong way, but his players actually really loved him. And they even had that one scene that I didn't talk about, but where he falls asleep on the trainer's table while the players go to practice, and when they come back, they see him sleeping, so they keep quiet.
Yeah.
Tan, you didn't see the scenes, but
No, I did.
Okay.
I had them on my phone. Yeah, it was super powerful. I was saying to Alan before we watched it that I wasn't looking forward to it because even though I know Tim is okay and everything is fine, it was that worry of, it's just so heartbreaking, to see kids in a state of being vulnerable and being in a situation where they have to deal with their health and that kind of situation. I think they did a really great job, and the fact that they were showing Dawn's way of going through the process of it, and Rose, and how what she had to go through and do. I thought it was shown really well.
And Victor?
Yeah. So, regarding that first scene, I don't know, Matt, if your ex needed a kidney, how quickly you'd be serving it up. But
we're not talking. That's different. It's a whole whole different situation.
Anyway,
we are not compatible.
Clearly. So that first scene just doubles down on what a douchebag that doctor is, right? Because if you remember the previous scene, it was basically
he's dying.
Yeah, he's dying. That's it. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing anybody can do. He's dying.
It's over.
What about a transplant? The odds are really, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so that just reminded me of what a douchebag that guy is.
But statistically, I think back then there was
stop defending him.
Well, there was huge risk. Like you're talking about where we are now in this world, but I think back then there was huge risk to.
This is in the 1930s.
But hold on, in support of Victor right here, the doctor's presentation of the results, at no point did he say any of them weren't compatible. He said, you're good, you're the least compatible, but you're perfect. He didn't say not. He didn't say you're not a match. It was like, so to me, I understood that technically all three of them could have been donors based on how he delivered the news. So it didn't seem like such a stretch.
But I think then the rejection rate would have been significantly
yeah. Well, there's no
higher.
rejection with his sister.
There's more to that. Yes, correct.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that scene. The next scene, I thought like it's completely on the level because they're walking down the hallway. Cherry's talking, and he's writing down notes. So
he's giggling as he's writing them down, like he's loving all the stuff he's getting.
And unless Cherry doesn't have any peripheral vision, he knows this is on the record. So it doesn't matter whether he would have said it in that room or not. It would have gone out.
It would have been printed.
Anyway.
Yeah, it would have been printed.
Yeah.
But the fact of the timing of it was like.
Yeah. But it was kind of dramatic. But the only asshole in the room was Cherry for saying that stuff to a reporter.
Yeah.
It wasn't Red's fault.
I think that was meant to show how naive and inexperienced Cherry was with the media still, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think he gets better, right? But yeah.
So I didn't have an issue with that scene. I thought it was funny.
All right. Even after being betrayed by Red, Don took responsibility for the rift between him and Sinden. Cut to the 1979 NHL playoffs. The Bruins were facing, once again, the Montreal Canadiens in the semifinals. Whomever won would face the New York Rangers for the Cup. Boston hadn't lost a game in New York in 3 years, but they needed to get past Montreal first. The series began, and Boston was quickly 2 games down on Montreal. Don needed to rally his team.
Everybody thinks we're done, eh? No, everybody's counting us out. Boys, I don't care if we're down 2 games to none. I guarantee you, we'll be back in Montreal for Game 7. I guarantee you. Now you gotta do is believe me. Gotta believe. Let's get ready, boys. We're gonna do it.
So pretty good pep talk there, kind of putting it back in the players' camps. Like, all right, don't worry about it. We're down 2-0. But we'll be back. I guarantee it. But only if you believe in me, which means that they're going to have to work their asses off to make it happen. What do you think of that scene, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pep talk. He's getting them going. I like this sort of run that we're rolling in here too, where the series of playoff runs that I learned a lot about Boston in this few year stretch that I didn't understand or I didn't have any clue about. But you're seeing more and more personality out of Don every time they bring him back to these moments. So I'm just excited to see him grow from here.
Imagine being in a 6 or 8 or 12 team NHL, whatever it was at the time. And you've got a great team. Boston had a good team, but you were right in the middle of the Montreal dynasty, right?
Question, and I could ask this now or I can ask it later because it doesn't really matter. But Don Cherry as an announcer, maybe this comes up in the next series, but does he have feelings against Montreal after all this?
Well, I told Tanya after this because a lot of those scenes where Tim says, I hate Montreal and storms off to bed after watching his dad lose another game. First question I'm going to ask Tim when we have him on is, do you still hate Montreal?
What do you think about Montreal? I didn't realize they were such a dynasty back then.
Oh, I think 5 years. They won 5 straight cups or something like that. And it was a dynasty and like Anyway, Victor, what did you think of that?
It reminded me of the pep talk the Portuguese guys got when they were down 1-0 to Croatia today.
You were privy to that talk, were you?
I felt it. I didn't hear it, but I felt it, and I feel like it would have been very similar to this one.
Yeah,
you have to believe me that Ronaldo will get a chance to kick a penalty at some point this game.
Yeah, and
when he does, he will score.
Yes.
And that's basically what happened in this pep talk. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, I guess, in the next scene.
It'd be interesting to see. I mean, we couldn't know this now, but if it wasn't during the Montreal dynasty, if Boston managed to win a cup or two during that time, would Don have continued coaching. Maybe we wouldn't have had 25 years of Don Cherry on CBC because he would have been a successful coach, right? Like the whole sliding doors thing kind of comes to mind.
Yeah. He was a successful coach.
Right. No, I know. But after this, and we'll learn later, he doesn't get it. I mean, other than a really brief stop in Colorado, doesn't get another job because he becomes labeled anti-ownership, right?
Yeah.
All right.
But he was, at no point was he a bad coach. I just want to make that clear.
No, exactly. I agree with you. But the fact is that he couldn't get another coaching job because the NHL was small. Like nowadays, he would have gotten fucking 12 chances after, right? Because it would have been any number of teams would have taken a chance on him, right? But back then, when there was only so many teams,
with Babcock coming back, if he was 20 years younger, Don Cherry would be coaching right now.
Exactly, yeah. Or Tortorella. Like, how many times has Tortorella gotten a job? I mean,
yeah.
Anyway,
crazy.
We cut to Don walking and discussing strategy with Blue, his dog. They've lost the last 2 years with Gary Cheevers in net, so Don is thinking about going with Rod Gilbert instead, even though he hasn't started in almost 3 months. He's at the end of his 5-year contract and playing for another one, and he's French. He likes playing in front of his friends and family in Montreal. Cheevers is a safe call, but they aren't winning. Don asks Blue to make the decision. Then we cut to the next game, and Gilbert is starting in net for Boston in Game 3 against Montreal. Gilbert stymies the Habs and wins first star in the game. In Game 4, Don starts a player against the ownership's wishes, and that player scored a hat trick in another win against Montreal to tie the series up 2-2. And then the next game, Montreal come back and smoke Boston 5-1, making it feel like those first 2 wins had never happened. But thanks to another hat trick and another stellar game in net by Gilbert, Boston won the next game, tying the series up at 3 apiece and fulfilling Don's prophecy that they would be going to a Game 7. Cut to the Bruins locker room just before Game 7. We see Tim there working as the water boy, and Don gives his team another pep talk.
All right, boys, this is it. We waste no time. I want lots of shots, good and early. Get the hell in front of Dryden. I don't want him seeing nothing. Donnie Marcotte, I want you on the ice with Lafleur at all times. You got that? Wherever he goes, you follow. He goes to pisser, you go. All right? Everybody got that? Donnie Marcotte on the ice with Lafleur at all times. No change from the last 6 games. Oh, boy, I'd love a win tonight. Damn it. Let's go!
All right. That was a bit more of a fiery pep talk. Victor, what did you think of that one?
Yeah, I think that's the right pep talk.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was fired up. Everybody was ready to go. And there's not much to say about it. That's exactly what you want.
Matt.
Yeah, hard agree. That's what you need. That's the only way to come at that. You got to have that passion, that excitement, that ready to go attitude. And that's all I want to hear from a coach there.
There's a key point there. There's a key point there that we need to pay attention to, and that's he assigns Don Marcotte to shadow Guy Lafleur. Guy Lafleur being the best scorer on Montreal's side and a legendary player. We're joined by Tanya again. Did you see that?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Sorry.
What did you think of that pep talk?
Yeah, it was much better than his earlier pep talk, which was, we're just going to come back and we're going to be here in Game 7.
Yeah.
And then that was it. There was very little talking. So this one was a little bit more, robust and kind of more signature Don style.
Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't mention our friend Michelle. She's on the live stream, and she's a big Montreal Canadiens fan, and she remembers that series very well. Those series very well. She said it was a glorious series, and they won 4 in a row, not 5.
You're getting a blue
I
spatula.
love you, Michelle, but you're getting a spatula right now.
And apparently Guy Lafleur was nicknamed Le Démon Blonde. Is that right? The flower of yogurts? What? I don't understand that. Anyway, please explain, Michelle. My French isn't that great. But yeah, he was definitely so. What was his name? Don Marcotte, or is assigned Guy Lafleur. So he's told every time Guy Lafleur goes on the ice, you got to go on the ice as well. That's important for what happens next. The Bruins now fired up, dominate the first half of the game and go into the third period with a 3-1 lead. But remember, in Shoresy, when they say a 2-goal lead is the worst lead in hockey, this is probably where they get it from. The Habs quickly get one back, and then a penalty is called on Boston, much to Don's frustration. This is where we get the now famous scene of Don on the bench, sarcastically applauding the refs and taking a bow in front of the hostile Montreal crowd. So I'm going to stop there because that scene there is shown in the opening intro to every Coach's Corner for the last how many years. It's so well known that even Tanya's like, oh, I know that scene. That's a very famous scene. And he's wearing So that was a pretty iconic scene. So for those Americans who don't know or whatever, that scene there is shown in every like Coach's Corner intro. And they captured it really well. I thought they did a good job of it.
I thought his delivery was absolutely perfect. When I saw it, I'm like, yeah, same deal with him. I was like, oh yeah, I know that. That's exactly what I've seen 100 times.
Yeah. Victor, what do you think?
Yeah, it was perfect. It was done perfectly. I had to kind of wait. Did they actually use the actual clip or did they recreate it?
No, we'll see the actual clip later at the end of the movie. But so it's kind of.
I was saying the same thing because they had that overlay on the image, and you can really tell what was being flipped into the old
like actual footage and what was part of the movie. Yeah, they did a pretty good job like kind of shifting from one to another. All right, so the Habs quickly get one back and then penalty is called, right? This is where we get the now famous scene. Where am I here? Oh yeah. In the ensuing Montreal power play, the Habs tie the game up at 3-3. Boston gets another quick goal and once again pulls ahead of Montreal with just under 4 minutes to go. And then in the next shift, Lafleur takes the ice for Montreal, which means Donnie Marcotte also goes on for Boston. Since Don gave him explicit instructions to shadow Lafleur everywhere he goes, Lafleur is being double and triple shifted. So Don does the same with Marcotte. In the ensuing chaos of the final 3 minutes, though, Marcotte misses his shift change and stays on the ice too long. And by the time Don realizes it, it's too late. The refs call too many men on the ice penalty against Boston. Lafleur, in the ensuing power play, ties it up on the power play with a minute left in the game. Cut to the Boston's locker room before the sudden death overtime, and the players are all sitting there with their heads hanging low.
What the hell's going on in here? What the hell is going on in here? Are you guys forgetting that we were 2 games down? The whole world was counting us out, you know that? Everyone thought we were finished. But boys, look at us now. Game 7 going into overtime. Now you boys hear me good. We ain't letting this one slip. We're gonna win this thing. Now pull your heads out of your asses and get ready for the biggest period of your lives. Come on.
The Bruins start the overtime with a flurry of shots on Montreal goaltender Ken Dryden, but he stops them all. But then the momentum changes in Montreal's favor, and they come back with chance after chance on Gilbert. Gilbert puts up a good fight, but in the end, Montreal scores the winner, and once again, Boston loses to Montreal in the playoffs. After the game in the locker room, Don addresses his players. They did their best, and he was proud of them. Then he grabbed a milk crate and walked out into the hallway and steps on the milk crate to address the press. He can't bring himself to say anything, so he just motions for a question.
You know that if you played Gilbert in net at the start, you would have won the series.
My aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Whose fault was the too many men on the ice penalty?
I read, I'm the captain of this shit by, It's my fault.
Grapes, you think this will cost you your job?
In order after this loss, I can't even think about that right now, guys. Give us a few minutes, I'll let you in.
All right. Matt, thoughts?
On all of that. So the too many men, I actually would like that scene. Even I understood that, and I thought they delivered that really well because there was a really good shot of right as it was happening, where you see an extra skate touch the ice.
Yeah.
And then they cut away, and I'm like, oh, is this really happening?
Mhm.
And then you see his face and the whole get off, like, it was like, that's heartbreaking, right?
Mhm.
It's something in the chaos of the moment. You got to feel for any team that occurs to, but I respect the taking it on that part. What I got to say about I mean, obviously my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle is a fantastic line. And I hope
Yeah.
he actually said that. And I'm sure it's captured because
I'm sure he said that because Tim actually used that exact quote on Toronto Mike even.
Yeah.
So,
And that's a press conference. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it's captured and
Mhm.
that's fucking fantastic in that moment to still deliver comedy gold like that. But man, this always reminds me when I see shit like this is that reporters are fucking ruthless, man.
especially in those days.
Oh, do you think you're going to lose your job? Like, come on.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
my
it's
favorite
weird,
is,
like,
if you had started Gilbert at the beginning, you would have won
they're
this
just
series. Yeah.
fucking
So,
scavengers.
was there a
man.
question in that? Yeah.
Oh, so I know, and just to make it personal for a brief moment, like, I think I've talked before at one point, television was sort of a route I was heading, and I
Mhm.
did news briefly, and there was some really fun aspects to it, but when you got into some aspects, it felt so invasive and so disgusting, and some of the things they were asking you to do or be a part of,
Oh,
and
so
I hated it.
prime example, Canada's last win at the World Cup. This got a lot of play,
Oh,
and
yeah.
when it happened, I thought that the exact same thing. I thought, what? Why are you asking him this question? So Eustachio is the Canadian player who scores the winner for Canada, and in the press in the interview after the game, the reporter mentions that he lost his mom and his dad, like, unprompted in the last couple of years, and how he felt about that or whatever, which makes Eustachio like break up and cry during the interview. And so many people, and my first is like, why the fuck did you ask him that? Like, and so many people online were like, why the fuck would he ask him that? That's such a manipulative question, right?
Yeah.
It turns out, like, zoom out, there's context here that's missing. And the context is this reporter and Eustachio are actually they really know each other really, really well. They're good friends. So he wasn't, it was less invasive. It was more him just, commensurating with his friend about, what this means to him and what.
Wrong time, wrong place.
Maybe, but I feel like it gives a different context. But yeah. When it was first asked, I'm like, what the fuck what does that have to do with anything here? He scored the winning goal. Anyway.
And and not to say that again, I've known a lot of people in that world. Not all reporters are like that. Like, there are some really fantastic reporters, but there are many out there who are just fucking savage, and they're like anything to get a reaction, anything to poke the bear, anything to just dig and get you to say something out of line. And I hate that side of the media. And just that moment where it's like, oh, you think you're gonna lose your job? I know it's something so simple, and you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But like in that time, that place
is that the right time
off.
for it? Yeah.
Like,
Well,
off.
And the Eustachio incident, I'm like, that question was designed to make him cry. That's the
100%.
only reason, was to make him cry.
So when you're telling me it's a friend or someone who knows quite well, I'm like, dude, like, that's wrong. You know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Tan,
It's hard.
do you have any thoughts about that scene?
Well, I wanted to know, like, so when Dom says, get off the ice, like, he's saying get off, did the ref already see that there was too many, or did he call himself out?
There was a moment there between him and the ref where the ref saw it, he saw it at the same time, and the ref had to call it. And actually later on, the ref apologizes, but he's like, I had to make the call, right? The funny thing with too many men on the ice penalties is the coach is always blamed, which it's his bench, he should be, but it's almost never their fault. It's usually players like not listening or not paying attention. In this case, the player was told to always be on when Lafleur is on. He didn't notice Lafleur was off, and that's where he got crossed, right? But so Don taking responsibility for it, yes. Ultimately, it's the coach's responsibility to make sure the right number of players are on the ice. But things happen so fast that he couldn't have been able to stop that anyway. Like, it would have happened anyway.
But it wasn't that he said it and then the ref saw it and then he called it.
No, the way the shot was done, the ref sees it. You can see the ref noticing, And it's obvious, like in on the like they show the scene later on TV. You can count the number of black jerseys on the ice, and there's one too many, and it was pretty obvious. Victor, what did you think of that scene?
Yeah, I agree. It's usually never the coach's fault, not those plays. The coach's fault is choosing to play certain guys over other guys, or playing certain line formations, or not playing a guy in a power play. But when players make mistakes, it's not the coach's fault. It's the players. They're the ones that are making the mistakes. In terms of him kind of saying that, I'm not going to put him on a pedestal. He put himself on a pedestal.
Yeah, on a milk crate, yeah.
That's what every coach would say. I think it would be weird if he didn't take blame for it. But in terms of the reporter asking the questions, I mean, at the end of the day, these beat reporters, that's their job, right? I kind
doesn't make it right though. No, doesn't make it right.
No, but listen, I put them in the same category as sales, sleazy salesmen, right? It's their job to try and sell you something you don't need, and these guys, it's their job to try and get a sound bite that's going to be a little bit different, right? And that's why people love Torts and what's his name? Not Bobrovsky. What's that other Russian goalie that gave great sound bites?
Oh, because they give them for free. The reporters don't have to work for them. They just have to ask a question. And,
that's true.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, that's what people love, right?
Yeah.
It's sometimes it gets personal, sometimes whatever. But I think your example is an anomaly, right? Usually the reporters are trying to catch guys off guard and ask those questions to try and get the bad sound bites. I mean, that's literally what happened to Millie Alcock. Like she didn't come out and start offering all of this kind of controversial stuff. No, she was totally baited into everything she ever said.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, sugar coated with 99% of really great stuff, and it's the sound bites that she was baited into saying, because that's their job. That's what they're trying to do.
Right.
They're trying to get the headlines, right? And that's exactly so I feel like their job is not to ask the easy questions, it's to ask the questions that will get the controversy out there.
Yeah, so there's easy questions, there's the hard questions, and then there's the degenerate questions, the one that you're going out of your way to just you're digging, and that's the kind of shit I hate. I don't mind the hard questions, the ones that really, even if it catches them off guard, it's a real legitimate concern.
That's why people hate Steve Simmons, right? I mean, like that's the kind of stuff that he does. But at the end of the day, he's
media love him. Media love them.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right. Later on, we see Tim and Don coming home after the loss. Rose waiting with a beer for Don and some words of comfort. It wasn't his fault, but it was his fault. Cut to Don clearing out his office in Boston, and predictably, he wasn't re-signed as a coach. And then we cut to a year later. After Boston, Don spent a year coaching the Colorado Rockies. They were a last-place team when he started, and they were a last-place team when he finished. He couldn't help them improve. So during those playoffs, Don was invited to be a guest commentator for the CBC during the playoffs. And after the playoffs, we see Don having coffee with Ralph Mellanby from Hockey Night in Canada. Mellanby, who's a producer at Hockey Night in Canada, complimented Don on his work as a commentator during the playoff. The audience really responded to him. Production note there: Mellanby is the guy that Don yells at in the first movie. If you're not going to show that fight, you better not show that fight. And he's the guy who's looking at Don going, "This guy's crazy." So I think Don got his attention back then, and Mellanby liked him. So Mellanby told Don that he burned a lot of bridges as a coach of the Bruins, and he thinks Don would be terrific on TV. He offers Don that if he doesn't get a job coaching, he thinks Don would be a fine color commentator with Danny Gallivan. Don agrees, as long as he doesn't have to wear any of those ugly blue blazers. And by the way, back then, CBC sports anchors had to wear powder blue blazers, which were indeed ugly. The phone never rang for Don to coach, so he decided to give the color commentary a chance. Cut to Don sitting with Danny Gallivan, about to do his first game.
We're moments away from the start of the third period in this Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Islanders. With me is guest commentator Don Cherry. Don, a tough season in Denver, only 19 wins, and in the end, you were let go.
We We had the makings of a good team, we did. We just need a goaltender, A nice enough guy, just had a small problem with pucks.
So this was another conflict with management.
I'm not saying nothing. But Blue wants you to know, it's tough to fly like an eagle when you're mixed in with a bunch of turkeys. I ain't talking about the players.
So what will you remember most about this season?
But it'd be the last game of the year. Beat Pittsburgh 5-0, had a sellout crowd in a snowstorm. You believe that? Boy, those guys really showed up that night.
Well, you come to the fights and watch a Rockies game break out.
Yeah, that's what they said in Colorado. That was the expression.
All right,
Colorado.
that scene was actually the scene of Don doing the commentary during the playoffs. That Mellenby took notice of him. So let's talk about that scene. That's kind of one where we kind of start seeing a little bit of Don talking about using Blue as kids, do what Blue says, you should do, and all that stuff. Like he went with that shtick well into his later career on Hockey Night in Canada. Victor, what did you think of that scene?
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
You get to see the origins of Coach's Corner there, and where he's being very polite and at the same time saying a lot of very controversial things.
Yeah.
That probably would not be popular with executives, NHL executives. So he delivered. So Kiso delivered that really, really well. And again, this is all historical footage, or so this stuff we don't have to kind of second guess whether it really happened or not.
Yeah.
So I thought he was excellent, and I'm guessing he wasn't reading a script. I'm guessing, like, I don't know, that's because usually when these things are set up, they do have cue cards, but I don't know how that was done. So I'm guessing he's talking from the top of his head.
Like, you mean originally Don Cherry when he was doing that, like back in this?
I'm not talking about Coach's Corner. I'm talking that specific segment, right?
Oh, for sure.
I'm guessing that wasn't scripted and he was just talking off the top of his head.
Yeah.
Which, if that's the case, he's pretty witty.
Yes, for sure. Tan, what did you think of that scene?
I wonder if he was, because like as we move forward, you can see that he gets very feisty in his banters with people, and he can be very offside with some of them. So whether he was just in his honeymoon stage where he was a little bit more holding himself back a little bit from all of the.
I don't think he's holding back. I think he's still feeling things out. I don't think he's quite comfortable. We'll see it in the next scene how he's still timid. Like, he doesn't become the Don Cherry we know until later.
He gets
Matt.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing his confidence start to grow. The growth across the two parts of this series is interesting to watch, and I like the Kiso in the second half far better than the first one. I know he's playing the role. He's playing very humble, kind of quiet, has an opinion, but doesn't know where to insert it. But as he's beginning to grow, we're seeing moments where we're getting the best out of him as an actor, playing this role. And these are key moments where you're really seeing it come to life. Like that bench scene where he's like bowing to things like that. You see Kiso at his best, and he's getting more and more opportunities. So I'm actually really excited to see the second with Grapes of Wrath or Wrath of Grapes or whatever, because I'm assuming we're going to see all commentator growth, and that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. So this next scene here is probably the one I thought I was teeing up with him, with Danny Gallivan, which is ironic considering how much he hated Montreal, and Danny Gallivan is like a big time Montreal Canadiens play-by-play guy. But here we go.
Scoreless after one period of play here in the Montreal Forum. And Don, what'd you think of that first period?
Well, both teams didn't do much.
As is evidenced by the score.
It got a pretty boring game of hockey. You know what, Danny? It's like watching paint dry out there. The only star of this game so far is the Zamboni driver.
I have to agree with you, Mr. Cherry. That period was like a hobo's coat. Shabby. We'll start period number 2 in just a few minutes. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
And Don Cherry gets a thumbs up from Danny Gallivan. All right.
The beginning of that reminded me of when we started off podcasting, and you're like, and so Tanya, and then I would be like giving you one thing, and they're like, Blink, blink, blinkety blink. You know we're supposed to talk, right?
Yeah. So Danny Gallivan's a legendary Montreal Canadiens play-by-play guy. So the fact that his first color commentary was for the Canadiens is kind of interesting, if that's exactly what happened. But Matt, what did you think of that scene?
I just find this kind of shit hilarious because you have Cherry who's just being him and he's talking, and then what's the other guy's name?
Danny Gallivan.
Danny Gallivan, who's like doing that announcer commentator yell at him when they bounce back and forth. Like it feels like it would be the most uncomfortable, least natural conversation possible. Someone's like, "Hey, yeah, there we go," and you're like, "Yeah, I don't know, it was cool, but hey, what?" Like it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And that scene I thought was one of the funniest scenes I've seen in a long time. The two of them in those banters. So I like because Cherry obviously gets loud,
Yes,
but in his own way. So it works.
Oh,
but
he
I don't
gets
know.
loud in every way possible later. But yes, right now.
Like I can definitely do the announcer voice, but I think it's hysterical.
Mhm.
And it always cracks me up. So
Victor, what do you think?
Yeah, that was great. And I think I guess we're gonna do we already no, we didn't see it in the scene. So probably it's not gonna be very well received, the way he was talking about the game. So.
No, yeah, that's coming up next. So
Okay.
let's the next scene. Don arrives home with a letter of reprimand from the CBC. They don't like it when their commentators say the game is boring.
You're always something with these guys. Don't say the game's boring. Say the players' names right. Speak English.
Did Danny get reprimanded too?
I don't know.
Game was boring.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I won't be doing color anymore.
They fired ya.
Nope, they tried. You know what Ralph Mallenby says? Says if I go, he goes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so you're gonna put me on after the first period now. We're gonna do a 7-minute segment, and we called it Coach's Corner.
7 minutes? Well, that sounds good. After all, like how much trouble can you get into in 7 minutes?
That's what Ralph said.
Well, he's right. You know, you only make things worse when you make comments like that. Like the way people react to what you say, it bothers me what they call you in the press. Troglodyte, pinhead, bigot, racist, xenophobic, misogynist, blathering loudmouth.
Hell's a troglodyte.
Like, I just like to go along in my little old world and have everything just be all nice and hunky-dory. I was on pins and needles every night you played, every night you coached, and now every night you're on the air. Couldn't you tone it down a little?
Nope. Don't worry, Rose. I'll tone it down. I'll tone it right down, I promise.
All right.
She only knew.
When she said, "How much trouble can you get yourself in 7 minutes?" Tanya actually laughed out loud.
I did.
Watching the scene. I do find though they took a bit of liberty in this scene because when she's talking about all the names that they call him, that can't have happened already. Like with a few times that he's, you know what I mean? Like I feel like
we're missing context. I think we're missing, and so I had an issue with the scene for the same reason because clearly that this is Tim, right?
Yeah,
making a decision not to show that part of his dad in this, at least in this first iteration.
But I'd argue it hasn't happened yet. Like him saying all those outrageous things.
You can't argue. Then you're arguing with Rose because she's saying it did happen.
No, but I'm saying that this part of the script was written maybe as a jab at people who hated Don Cherry. You know what I mean? As a retort.
It's confusing because the timeline I think in this scene was written at a whack a bit. So because they make it sound like he's referencing that exact bit that we saw where he was like the first time he was on air with Gallivan there, but then she says every time you're on air, this is what's happening. So it implies that he's been doing this for a while and now he's been given a segment.
Well, he did do it. Yeah, he did do the whole playoffs commentary thing in 1979. So he was like a guest commentator for that.
Yeah.
But I think all of that stuff that she's talking about is more them kind of getting back at
I
people.
think you're wrong.
No,
I think you're taking it too literally. Like,
no, I'm actually doing the opposite. I'm taking it figuratively because that's what they're doing.
No, but you're taking it literally in terms of what we're being shown. Because what she's saying is not a one-to-one match to what we're seeing. They chose to only show us one or two examples of him being on air. But those two examples they showed us were not representative of what she was saying.
No, you're right. My point is that comes later.
All they had to do was show at least one scene where he's saying something controversial, and they didn't. They chose not to do that. So therefore you're confused, but there's no reason for you to be confused. They just chose not to show us those scenes, but they absolutely happened.
I think they were making a
Otherwise, she
statement with
wouldn't
that
have said
scene.
it.
No, I don't think that happened yet. Anyway, so that was basically the last scene of the show, except for this movie. We fade to black and we get the following postscript. For Rose, who after a valiant battle with cancer passed away in 1997, and then Don Cherry continues to work as a commentator for Hockey Night in Canada, entertaining and enraging for over 25 years. So this is all before the Poppy incident. He's still working when this movie comes out. And then we're
well before the Poppy incident.
Well, I mean, the movie came out before the Poppy
No,
incident.
but even the Grapes of Wrath is well before the Poppy incident. I just want to make sure that that's understood.
Yeah, the story of the movie, yes, is well before, but I'm saying when the movie came out in the early 2000s, it was also before he lost his job. So when this movie comes out, Don Cherry is still doing Coach's Corner on Hockey Night in Canada. So then we're treated to a montage of some of Don Cherry's Coach's Corner highlights, and I love this montage because it basically hits all the big ones.
Great point. Of course he doesn't like the banging and the smashing. Why would he? He's only this high. Go down blazing. Do it your way and don't change at all because you're going to get fired anyway. And after you're going to say, I'm glad I did it my way. Like me, go down blazing. I don't have much time here. I know you're trying to win a Gemini. That's right. So keep quiet. Following this, folks. You got this? I have no idea what he's talking about.
Who are you picking?
I'm not picking. Let the best team win. Why keep score?
It's going to be good. Way to go, Kirk. I like it. Get it on. All right.
Plastic. You get hit in the head.
Oh, jeez.
Doesn't that hurt?
I do have a couple of theories.
Oh, shut up with your theories. I'm sick of your theories. Shut up.
Yeah, he was great.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to say shut up.
Yes.
He doesn't think that. He just say it.
Buttercup, you cannot do stuff like that. You have to, if you're going to be a tough guy, get the visor off.
I never believed in having a mad dog sit on the bench and have 2 or 3 shifts and go out there and fight. That's not hockey.
And there's the shot of him in the crowd that we also see in the movie, but that's actually him wearing the polo.
And in that montage, they only showed one pseudo controversial thing, and that's the Buttercup comment.
Sure.
Nothing else. Not a single one of these clips was controversial in any way at all.
No, they were more just indicative of his personality in terms of like he was out there. Like he goes from that's the interesting thing about the trajectory of his career though is he goes from this proper kind of do everything by the book and quiet guy in the beginning before he meets Rose and stuff. And even when he starts his career as a broadcaster, he's kind of shy and reserved. You know, that scene with Danny Gallivan, he only after a while does he like start saying something interesting to now what we see there where he's literally yelling in Ron McLean's face and hitting him over the head with elbow pads and stuff. Like it was so much fun to watch. It was definitely interesting television for sure.
Yeah, Ron McLean must have been one of the most patient people ever.
Well, yeah.
I was just going to say, has Ron ever said how he felt about
Oh,
the
yeah.
experience?
There's been lots of coverage over that. Yeah.
And?
Look, they're friends. They're friends.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
Ron is friends with Don. Don is not friends with Ron. As much as you want to believe that they're friends.
Whatever. They're friends. Ron is also 80 plus years old and yeah, they're friends. So, all right, so that's the movie. We're going to do rating. But first, before we do ratings, just overall kind of thoughts over this. And I guess we'll start with this. And I basically said what I thought about. I love seeing the trajectory. I think they captured it really well, where they show this guy going from this well-mannered, maybe not so bright or not media friendly into he's going to become. He's not quite there yet, but where this movie ends, he's getting there, and we're starting to see little signs of what he's going to become. We've already seen some of the stories we've heard a million times. We've seen his relationship with Blue, and in that last interaction on Hockey Night in Canada, we see him using Blue in his lessons to the kids. Like all this stuff is stuff that we'll see over and over again on Coach's Corner. So I really think it was captured really, really well. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about most of the scenes already. What I liked about this second half here is that it really summed up into three sort of key points. One, his son, the family, the medical issues, and how they all came together through that. Two, the playoff runs, his coaching career and the challenges he had, and him going for that cup that he never got. And then, of course, three, his intro into commentary. And through that, you see his growth. And it was just a fun watch. So I really enjoyed the trajectory across this second half. There was nothing complicated about it. The timeline moved very quickly, but it was easy to follow because it kept going from playoff to playoff to playoff, and then out the other side. So yeah, great watch. Excited for Grapes.
Oh, and just so you guys know, the mini series was released in 2010, so that's 16 years ago. Don Cherry, the Poppy incident that caused Don Cherry to lose his job was in 2019.
Yeah.
So 9 years later.
Yeah. The one other comment before I jump off, just before I forget, when I was watching some of this with my son earlier today, I can't remember what scene it was, but there was some scene and he made some comment going, "Yeah, man, that like kind of reminds me of Shoresy." And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? And I thought he understood. I'm like, that is Shores. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's Jared Kiso. And he didn't put that together in the slightest.
That's funny.
Yeah, and we had a good laugh. I'm like, dude, I thought you caught that. He's like, no, I had no idea. Yeah, he sounds like him. But so anyways, he guess he did a good job to separate the two.
All right. Tanya, what did you think of the series?
Yeah, I thought it was a great kind of overall recap of his life. We got to, see behind the scenes of his personal life as well as his professional arc and where he started. And I loved seeing the old kind of flashback of how things used to be and
in the 70s, yeah.
And that the fact that they, didn't gloss over, the lifestyle of how things were. I found this part, it kind of went much quicker. Now I know that they can't like continue on and have they would have had to have had multiple movies in order to kind of really dive into anything more. But, yeah, this portion of it seemed to have been really quick.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot that was captured, and I think it could have been extended, and they could have probably had more of a storyline. But it
was a 4-part movie series, so I think they captured quite a bit.
Yeah,
two-part movie
Four.
series. We divided into 4 parts, but it
no
was
the two. This and Grapes of Wrath are two.
They were 2 years apart.
Doesn't matter. It's a 4-part series. Anyway, Victor, what did you think of this?
I thought it was a fantastic standalone movie.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a hockey fan, it's a must watch because it's a great hockey movie. Okay. All right. It's
hold on, Victor. Before you go into, I'm going to support Victor on this one because if this was intended to be a 4-part out of the gate, they would never have done that wrap-up sequence with Don Cherry at the end of this one.
Okay, we'll ask Tim when we have him on.
Fair enough, but they wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have done the whole, he went on to do 25 years. They would have put that at the end of Grapes, not now.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Thank you.
Continue, Victor.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So again, if you're a hockey fan, it's a must watch. I think it's one of the best hockey movies, to be honest. If you don't really know who Don Cherry was, I think the movie does two excellent things. It shows you that he was actually a really good hockey player. And if he didn't get in his own way several times, he actually could have made it.
And then he was actually a good coach. And again, if he didn't get in his own way.
Well, it's, the coach part, you know what? Like, he was he was not just a good coach, he was one of the best coaches, and he won Coach of the Year. He just didn't deliver a very good Coach of the Year speech at the award ceremony. And at the end of the day, like, he got in his own way a little bit, but the same way that, the coaches get in their own way these days, but then it doesn't matter. Like, a guy like Torts gets in his own way all the time, and he keeps getting hired. So, you know what I mean? So it's like the times have changed, but he was a great coach. So this movie kind of delivers on those two fronts. It showcases him not just as this kind of doofus old timer guy who says silly things on television, but you get this whole backstory that he was actually a fantastic hockey player. He was a good family guy. He went through these personal traumas with his son, and the daughter gave up her kidney, and Rose, that unfortunately dies young, semi young, and all that kind of stuff before you even get to Coach's Corner in a sequel that was made, because this one was done so well. So I think that I think it's a fantastic movie, and everybody, especially anybody that watches Letterkenny and Shoresy, I mean, they have to see this just so to see what Kiso had done before those shows, to understand not only kind of his the work that he's done, but probably what contributed to kind of his own ideas and thoughts and creativity and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, because he didn't really write this, he didn't probably contribute to the script or anything like that. But boy, this is laced in kind of the what he kind of became and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reviewing the sequel.
All right, let's move on to ratings. I'll start. I give this, this movie part 2. What?
Are there more movies after this?
Oh, don't start. There's 2 more movies, part of another series of Don Cherry stories. Yes, this is what we're arguing about. Yes,
another separate series. Yes.
Are we doing 4 podcasts on the 2 more?
We're doing the exact same thing with those that we did with this.
Oh,
you guys ever even talk in your house?
No, not really. All right, I give this a fresh. It was really well done. I love the period of the piece. I love seeing his trajectory. I love seeing all that stuff. And Kiso does an amazing job. I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid. It's a fresh. Matt, what did you think?
Yeah, it's an easy fresh. It was a lot of fun. Great story arc here. You really saw him come to life, and I can't wait for the next.
Okay, 10.
It's a fresh.
Mm-hmm. So that's it. Just woman of few words. All right, no problem. Victor, let me guess. This is a compost.
Oh man, it's as fresh as they're gonna come. I mean, like I said, I think it's probably top 3, top 2 best hockey movies, to be honest.
Oh, look at that. Where's my unicorn? Oh, there it is.
Stop sharing the screen.
Oh my god. We can see your soundboard. That's
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wait. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I regret nothing.
We have a unicorn.
I forgot what that sounded like.
All right. That's great. So let's move on to MVPs real quick. Again, I'm going to start, and my MVP for this one is absolutely 100% Rose. I think she's all of us in these stories in terms of what she's experiencing and watching and then reacting to. For the most part, in part 1, she's reacting to the stubbornness that, like as Victor would say, keeps getting in Don Cherry's way. And in this one here, she takes on the burden of running the house and taking care of Tim while Don works. So yes, Rose is absolutely my MVP for this series. Matt?
Although Rose continues to be an excel, it's his daughter Cindy coming to the rescue and doing the right thing and being the family member that everyone deserves and needs in this world. So Cindy Cherry.
Okay. And 10?
Oh, that's a hard one. You're both right. Boy, I'm gonna say Rose because I love that how much what was it? How did she word it? How much can you get into in 7 minutes?
Trouble can you get into in 7 minutes?
I love that line. Yeah, I love that she does the scrapbooking and keeps the everything going. She's the neck.
The neck?
The what?
She's the neck.
That turns the head?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a thing.
You look confused.
What the hell?
Like, are you just supporting your wife here?
No, I've heard the analogy before, but yes, it's the way she put it is kind of the neck. Okay. I get it.
What if you don't have a neck?
Well, then you got to turn your whole body, right? Victor, who's your MVP for this?
Man, I think I gave it to Rose last time. I think she's. I don't want to give. I thought about Cindy, but I don't. I feel like what we all kind of were saying that probably like any family member would have done that if they said you're a perfect match. Who's going to say no, right? It's
Look, according to that doctor, there are some.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
I thought you were going to go with Red Fisher, that
No,
asshole
I was going to go with
reporter.
Blue actually, just because Blue was taught Cherry how to coach with
Right,
that puck that he chewed up.
Mhm.
And he used that as as an important symbol. But no, yeah, I'm going with Rose as well, just because without her, he really would have been failed so much sooner in his life.
All right. All right, cool. Let's move on to some really quick Universal news so we can end this. They recently announced. New Metric Media recently announced the cast for Cats in the Plateau. That's that new series that Kiso is working on, or I think they're shooting already. So there's some familiar faces on the cast, but some not, or many of them are not. So Alexander Calvert is one of them, Canadian actor. Robert Bazocchi or Bazzacchi or something. I don't know how to say that name. Sarah Jean Labrosse. A lot of Montreal actors. Brian Gasmere or Gazmar. Lysandra Nadeau. We should know that one. She's from Shoresy. She in the first season of Shoresy. And then Jared Kiso. And apparently Kiso's actually going to direct this one. Or direct or produce. Asim, tell me in the chat. But I think I saw that he was
very big difference
directing this one. So anyway, so they've announced the cast, and I swear to God, I thought I saw posts of them actually already shooting in Montreal. Yeah. So yeah, they've been doing a lot of stuff without actually making big announcements. So it'll be interesting to see what this show is like. We also have a few listener comments. I went on to Spotify. I don't go on there very often, so I didn't see this one until now. This was left by Thomas. Blake Thomas a few months ago. Love your show. Did all the Letterkenny episodes and all the Shoresy episodes. Thanks for the content. I'm with Victor. I hated that Jory and Nick scene. He's talking about the scene at the end of Shoresy 5. Charlie is telling us he's directing for the first time. So there you go. Kiso's going to try his hand at directing. And then we have a listener comment from our buddy Dennis in the UK. Hey Al, Dennis here, longtime lurker, first-time poster. My question is, what happened to the summers of our youth, the ones that lasted forever, where it never rained, it was never too hot, and your knees didn't sound like popcorn when you stood up? That was a question from Dennis. I didn't really give any parameters as what questions they can ask, so that was his question. Victor, would you like to answer that question for Dennis?
Oh my God. I don't know how to answer that question. I would say get your ass off out of your chair and don't worry about the sound in your knees, and call your friends and go and start playing some street hockey.
Oh, he's not the guy to tell that, because he does all the Tough Mudder races and stuff and with Trollinger in the UK. He's a very active dude. I think he's just
tell your friends to get their fat asses out of their seats and go touch grass.
Very good. Matt, would you like to shout out our patrons?
Absolutely. We have nothing but love for our patrons. Let's go through it now. Jack, from Melbourne, Josh from Pennsylvania. And I will quickly shout out Josh. We haven't heard from you in a while, but I hope you're doing well. I'll still never forget the video of you falling down your own stairs. That is a core memory from this show. So thank you, my friend.
My core memory
Chad,
of Josh is sharing deep fried Oreos. He
that's right.
enlightened my life with that.
there you go. And also
Sudbury.
I enjoyed a jar of jam that he made with his family one time.
Although
So,
Josh's jam may or may not have led to some some
listen,
distress.
it was not the jam.
Okay.
No, Josh, don't worry what they're talking about. It was not the jam.
All right.
It's probably something else.
Okay. Whatever.
Chad from Minnesota, Adrian from Maine, Awesome from California, Liz from Michigan, Jason in Indianapolis, Justin in the UK, Ryan in Maryland, Matt, aka me, in Toronto. I am a patron of my own show.
You're so-
Michelle from Sudbury, Robbie in Idaho, Mike in New Jersey, Joey from Colorado, Casey in Virginia, Jeff in Maine, Miriam in Toronto, and let's not forget Juan. I know he's next to her, loving as always. Nick in Las Vegas, Aaron in Chicago, Gord in Toronto, Dennis in the UK. There's Dennis. We were just talking about.
That's right.
Jen in Virginia, Noah from upstate New York, Scott from parts unknown. I'm so curious of where that is. I've always wanted to go to that place.
So, shout out, Scott. Let us know.
Yeah, fantastic show though. Bourdain, parts unknown. Cassie in Simcoe, Dennis in Michigan, Sarah in Wisconsin, Casey in North Carolina, Jay in Edmonton, Jeremy from Perth, Catherine from Texas, Tobias from Missouri, PJ from Pennsylvania, Paddle from Rhode Island, Dave in Michigan, Charlie in, come on,
Massachusetts.
thank you, sir. And finally, and last but not least, Teresa from Texas. Thank you all for your ongoing support.
Amazing. All right. Last, just final comments remain. I'm going to start. I'd really love to hear from anybody who's listened to our coverage of the Don Cherry movies. If you'd never heard of him before, like I'm referring to our American and Australian and UK listeners, maybe you didn't know who he was, and you followed along because for whatever reason, let us know what you think of this story. Like we try to explain how famous and how big a deal he was here in Canada. Obviously not as big a deal outside of Canada, although in some northern states they know him. I'd be really interested to know or to hear from folks who'd never heard of him before, didn't know anything about him, but learned about him through watching or listening to our podcast. And I'd love to hear from you guys and tell me what you think. Thanks guys for doing this. Next week we'll start with the next series, the next mini series. Wrath of Grapes.
Part 1 of 4.
Yes. Matt.
This was fun. I needed this again, guys. I can't wait to get the next one going. Cause I'm really excited to see Kiso's chops come out in grapes. So bring it on.
All right, 10.
Yes, I can't wait to see what happens because they did the whole recap and fast forward. So where do we start?
We'll see. Victor.
Yeah, this was great. And just following up on what you said, Al, I think that the other thing, let us know what you guys think, because I think a lot of people that don't know about Cherry would have jumped on the bandwagon in terms of his cancellation and without really knowing the background and stuff like that. Now that you know the man behind what he became on television, do you think that, his single comment that was very similar to many other comments that was arbitrarily kind of used as a way to get him off the air, was the right thing for the country to turn basically their backs on him and to kind of throw him to the side, if that was the right thing to do? So give us your thoughts on that. I think that would be very interesting.
All right. I'm going to play us off here as we do now from now on with Inebriation by Boys for the Worm. That's all we have for this episode. Next week, we begin our coverage of the second Don Cherry miniseries, The Wrath of Grapes, beginning with the first half of part 1. So make sure you do your homework. Until then, if you'd like to support the podcast, become a patron to get a shout out on our episodes extra content, early access and interviews, and a personal ad-free feed. Another way you can support us is by telling a friend about the podcast or write us a review. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky at ProduceandPod.com. Shoutouts to our bud Ian Service for the live stream, our friends at Sonar Network. Intro and outro themes are by Poise for the Worm. You can find them on all music streaming services. Thanks for joining us. Now we're going to the after party. On behalf of Tanya, Victor, Matt, and myself, thank you for listening. Have a great week.